course that has the right number is the one you should get into.
Yeah, wisdom.
I will leave you.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Yemisi. If you're new here, hey, hi, how you doing? Subscribe to this channel, okay? Today I have a very special guest here. You guys, she does not need introduction. Marina, Esiri of Saskatoon. I'm so privileged to be here with her.
You cannot live in my house, say you know. If you do that introduction that used to make people uncomfortable, I will push you outside.
No, it's not making that uncomfortable. You guys, you know, as I'm blown.
Not serious. Marina is serious of Saskatoon. Please, you help me.
Let us allow her introduce herself for those that have not come across her before.
Hi everyone, such a pleasure to be here on Yemisi's channel. My name is Marina. I'm on YouTube as Marina Esiri, and on my channel I just share information about settling into life in Canada, information to help foreign trained professionals settle into their career, and I share with you guys what my life has been like as a Nigerian living in Canada. And I'm excited to be able to be on another Nigerian YouTuber's channel in Saskatoon. That makes me so happy. Thank you guys for having me. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for also gracing this channel. So guys, today we'll be talking about the struggles of newcomers in Saskatoon, and then she'll be using our wealth of experience to shed light on how we can avoid those struggles. Not totally avoid, but like how we can scale through those struggles. Guys, this is the third time we're taking this video, so if you see that energy, just know that this is the third time we're taking this video. Devil is a liar.
Yes, so yes.
Anyway, so the first point I have here is cost and expenses. Guys, the cost is real. Like miscellaneous costs that you don't even plan for, the one you've planned for. How were you able to manage the cost when you got here? Because I'm struggling.
The cost of living generally in Canada is high, and in Saskatoon I find that it is increasing. Because in fairness, some of the things that prices that I see now were very, very different 5 years ago when we landed. Like the cost of things have increased, from rent to food to just the cost of getting around, you know. But what we did when we landed, how to manage that, was that we did not come with a lot of money. There were a lot of things that we were hoping would contribute to our proof of funds, but it didn't go as planned. So we had to come with the money that we already had available on ground, and it was not a lot, you guys. So it was now up to us to make the tough choices to say, how can we make this money that we have work for us? You know, so from the places that we rented, the kind of apartments we rented, we did not go to like the choice neighborhoods where you go and be paying out of your nose. We rented in like in an affordable location. And then when it came to things like buying a car, we bought an old car. Like that car, even me, when I see the picture sometimes, I'm like, oh my God, you rode in that? Yeah. The car was very old, but it was very reliable. You know, there are a few people who throw jabs at me from time to time to say, Marina, come on. And I laugh because some of those people have $400, $500, some people up to $700 they were paying per month on the car loan that they used to buy their brand new cars. But guess how much Marina had in car loan? Zero. So I was not under that kind of pressure. I cut my coat according to my cloth. I was not trying to impress anybody. You know how you come abroad, you want to pepper your neighbors. Your neighbors back home in Nigeria to show them that you have arrived. I could not afford to do that. I couldn't afford to do that. We had to make tough choices. Like the first set of clothes my children wore was from like a gently used store, like what they call in Nigeria, second hand. Even me too, the first set of clothes that I bought here, I can count how many of them were brand new. You know, we had to make those tough calls because, I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. That's what we did. I was not under any form of pressure to impress anybody because last in this Canada, we're all just winging it. Nobody cares. So if you put yourself under unnecessary pressure because you want to be perceived a certain way, chances are people will even notice because nobody gives a hoot where you live or what you drive. We're all just hustling somehow. So you better be living within what you can afford because there's no borrow me 5K here.
No borrow me.
Nobody's gonna give you guy.
It's as bad as if you like stay under the sun. Cars will be passing by you.
I'm telling you, there's no free money. Nobody gives you free money. So we had to make those tough calls to adjust to our reality because we're not on holiday, like it's home. I'm going to live here now. So we had to be careful not to make any decisions that will have any adverse effects on us down the line. So that's how we manage that.
I particularly love how she mentioned the fact that nobody cares about you. To be honest, nobody cares about the clothes you wear, where you stay anywhere. Nobody cares about you. To be honest, in all fairness, where I work, nobody has my phone number. There was a particular day I was looking out for my supervisor's number and nobody had it. And I was like, wow, this
Strange.
is surprising. So yeah, like manage your costs. I mean, you're hearing from a 5 years experienced person. The second struggle that I have, or that I still, find it difficult to adjust with, is exchange rates, guys. Go to Superstore, go to Dollarama. In your head, everything is calculation, because the prices are tax-free. And until when you're trying to get your bill at the cashier point, that's when you know,
how much
it don't happen. So, I mean, how were you able to evolve around that exchange rate issue?
Like calculating things in naira, like converting prices to naira when you're trying to pay.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, I feel like this thing happens to the best of us. Like, it happened a lot when I was still very new in Saskatoon. Like, you think about it, you're like, what? That's how much in naira? But in my head, I'm like, yo, babe, you better adjust to this, because it was not helping my blood pressure. Because sometimes when you see some prices and you're like, if I tell my sister that I just use this amount of money to buy one shoe, they are going to delete me from family WhatsApp group. Because up till last week, I still did it, because that day I got a notification that the exchange rate from Canadian dollars to naira, I think, was 400. So that day was still very fresh in my head, and I ordered pizza for my children, and when they brought it, the receipt was on one of the boxes, and I saw the total price. I'm like, you mean I just if I multiply this thing times 400, you can pay somebody's 1 month salary. Like, what? You mean I just use somebody's salary to buy pizza? So it happens to the best of us. But I've learned how not to dwell on it. Like, because at the end of the day, what difference does it make?
I mean,
when you now know the price in naira, you're not going to buy it.
I mean,
so yeah.
Yeah, so
I had to borrow myself.
Buy what you need, not what you want, okay? So the third struggle I have is being lonely. You guys already know that I came here by myself, no family, no friends, trying to adjust and all of those things. And even though she came here with her family members, her husband and her children, loneliness is still real, because you get to, like, I mean, you cannot just be seeing the same face every day. So how were you able to manage the loneliness part?
I agree, there's only so much you can do with husband and children, right? Some days it gets tiring to be seeing the same people. Let's just say the truth. There are times where I feel like carrying my children outside, don't lock them myself.
I hope they're hearing
that, delete it. It was a joke. Anyway, just kidding. So when we came, my family unit, I considered one unit, so there were only a few things that we could always do together as a family. But thankfully, we had a host. There was somebody, a friend of our family, who had been here a couple of months before we landed. So that was like the first friend I would say we had outside my family unit. They had children who were in about the same age range as my kids, so that's where my children started to make friends from. And then thankfully a couple of other Nigerians started to move into the apartment complex where we were living, and their children were in the same age range as well. So I mean, they were our first set of party guests. When we were doing anything at home and we're trying to invite people, we had the same guests over and over, because those are the only people we knew. Before we now started going to places like church, where we started to meet other Nigerians, other immigrants, and relationships started to build from there. I met people on Facebook that I knew before I even arrived in Saskatoon, who had now reached out to say, hey, when you land in Saskatoon, let me know. I reached out to a couple of those people, and they came through. Some of those people came through for me, and I still have those relationships till today. But one very important thing I had to do was that I had to reach out to these people. They did not automatically just stroll into my comfort zone to come and be friends with me. I had to do some work in reaching out. Like for those people who lived in the same apartment complex as I was living in, there were times where I volunteered to babysit their children. And if you know anything about Canada, childcare is a major expense. I volunteered to babysit their children just so they could have that break of going to the store by yourself and not be dragging crying toddlers around, because it happened to me many times, and I know how much of a struggle that can be. So I volunteered to babysit their children. I would invite them for no reason. Just come with your children. Let's just sit down and just let all of us scatter the house together. It was not convenient. But for me, that was my own way of showing that if you want to have a friend, you have to first show yourself friendly, and that's what I had to do to open up these doors and these avenues for communication. So that's how we made the first set of friends, and some of those relationships, 5 years on, I still have them till today.
I particularly love the fact that she mentioned that you have to be very intentional about the friendships, because right now landing here, no family, no friends, I had to join the community, church, Nigerian church, and it's just been so wonderful all along. So yes, try to reach out, because if you don't reach out, Canada is very lonely. Everybody minds their business. True. So if you don't reach out, nobody cares about you. So
that's true.
That's a very good point. Thank you so much. The next struggle here is the weather. Guys, in Canada, just know that Saskatoon is very different. When I landed in Toronto, I was like, okay, it's cold, but I was adjusting. When I landed here, I started shivering and shaking on my mouth. So how were you able to cope with the cold, and what season did you land in? Because mine is better. I landed in April and I was still complaining about the cold. What time did you land in?
I landed in May. That was like spring.
Oh, okay.
But honestly, when I landed, I thought it was cold. Because I would go everywhere with a sweater and I would see people wearing shorts. I'm like, are you guys mad?
That's how I feel right now.
Like, what exactly is going on here? What does this mean? So the weather is beautiful today. I'm like, what? I'm freezing. What do you mean this is beautiful? Like, it gets worse than this. Some people look at me and like, what are you talking about? Well, literally in summer, The weather in Saskatoon. I don't know why you're asking me this question, because even I've not finished copying. I'm still copying.
But it cannot be like me. I still wear sweater, and this is like 29, 28 degrees though. So
I am still wearing sweater.
Yes.
Well, actually, what I think happens with Saskatchewan weather, nobody actually gets used to the Saskatchewan winter. Like, take that as consolation. Even the people that were born in Saskatchewan complain with me some days when I'm complaining about the weather. Because really, when you think, okay, you've gotten a hang of one part, Saskatchewan weather will tell you, oh my beer, and they throw something else. It gets really crazy. There are times where we've had like blizzards in September, in October. Like, what? We're supposed to be in fall. Why is it this cold already? I remember one year that we had, it was in a space of a week, we had like blizzard on Monday. It was very hot on Wednesday. By Friday, it was heavy rain. Like, so don't worry, we're all still coping. Honestly, I don't know, but with the right gear, like when you are layered properly, I find that it becomes more bearable. So what I think has happened to me is like my cold threshold has increased. So before, where I would be really cold when the weather is like 15, now I can handle 15. Now I can handle 10 and say, oh, the weather is nice. Without a jacket, I can go out sometimes when it's like 8 degrees, 10 degrees without a jacket, right? My cold threshold has increased, but the Saskatchewan weather, I think the wind is the worst part.
Yes.
The wind chill is the worst part.
Yes.
Like, if it's just snow, we're fine. I thought last winter was mild though. I don't know. Maybe, you didn't experience. So I thought the last winter we're just coming out from, I thought it was mild. But then again, it could be that because it was a pandemic and I was not outside as much as I would have been normally during winter. But you'll be fine, don't worry. Just wear all your clothes at once, you'll be fine.
I'll definitely be calling her to ask her, please, what should I wear? The next struggle I had, or I still have, maybe not so much now, is not knowing where to visit, not knowing my way around, bus transit and all of those things. How did you cope?
So when we landed, we had one car. And my husband was working, so he would take the kids to daycare, to school. But me, I had to go to school maybe like 4 months after we landed, and I had to use the bus. Some days it was hard because you think you understand the bus transit, you understand the map, you understand takeoff times and things like that. There were times where I'm like, okay, the bus is coming in 10 minutes, I'll take my time. And then 2 minutes before 10 minutes, I'll stroll out and just see the bus going. Like, well, I thought I got this time right.
This is my reality.
So what I started doing is sometimes I'll just go out and stand there. I did it for like a straight week. Go out, stand there, and observe the pattern to say, okay, what time exactly does this bus get here? And I was able to establish that, okay, from this time to this time, the bus shows up. So it became easier for me to know the right times to catch the bus, to know which bus to catch, which bus number applies to me, you know. Sometimes you can see many buses passing. It's not every bus that passes. I feel like there's a life lesson right there. The fact that the bus is in front of you does not mean that's the one you should enter.
Yes.
The one bus that has the right number is the one you should get into.
Yeah, wisdom.
I will leave you. You know, but I learned that. I learned the right bus to know how to connect to where and things like that. But I find that the advantage of using the bus though is that now I know Saskatoon a lot more than I would if all I did was drive around. Because even till tomorrow, when my husband and I are going out and he says, oh, where are we going? And I hear the street name, I'm immediately able to say, oh, that's in this area. So I can get there myself and then maybe now need my map to get the exact address. But I know Saskatoon more than he does, and I totally attribute that to using the bus in the initial time that I was here. So it has the advantage and the disadvantage.
Yeah, true. For those that don't understand what she's saying concerning having advantage, for cars, sometimes your destination with a car might be 10 minutes, and for a bus it might be more than an hour. Yeah. Because it's going to pass through every road, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm also learning that it's also like an advantage for me, but not that I'm enjoying it.
It's very inconvenient, especially when it's winter and you have to wait. That's not fun at all.
That one, I don't know. I'm going to cope.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I don't even know that they might just see YouTube might just say, Yemisi, you're doing a good job. Take brand new car.
Oh shit! The next struggle that I have is fun places to visit. Guys, I've not attended any fun place. In short, I don't know any fun place myself right now in this Saskatoon. Maybe we can blame it on COVID or something, but I want her to explain and let us know where we can visit when the COVID finally relaxes.
I feel like I'm even doing a bad job at this because I'm not the fun places that I go to are places that must be kid friendly. So I haven't really explored Saskatoon alone without my children. So far it's just the indoor arcades or parks or spray parks, go and walk by the river and things like that. But this summer I intend to explore Saskatoon a lot more. Now that restrictions are getting lifted and things are going to open, Taste of Saskatchewan is one big thing that happens in the summer where they bring like a lot of restaurants together. So instead of going to eat here, you can have all of them in the same place and you can try different things, try plenty restaurants at once. That's fun. We'll try that. Yeah, we should try that. So there are a couple of other things I'm looking to explore, just activities. There are typically a lot of festivals that happen in Saskatoon during the summer, and I'm going to as many of them that are open. There's the rib fest that happens in Prairie Land where people come and they have like competition on who has the best ribs. I've tried those things. It revolves around food. You see why we can't besides it. You know, but this summer really I intend to explore Saskatoon a lot more and not just kid friendly stuff. Yeah, maybe I'm not the right person to ask for fun. Exactly. Because really time is passing. You really need to be able to. So we would explore a lot more and show people that Saskatoon is not just flat land and snow. We have fun as well.
Yeah, and I can't wait to experience that today. The last struggle that I have, maybe not the last, but on my list right now, the last struggle I have is not being able to explore gatherings due to COVID. Right now I don't know my colleagues, maybe just 2-3 of them, but like I don't know my colleagues, if I say so myself. Everything was online in my winter semester. So how have you been coping with COVID being in the picture? Yeah,
honestly, COVID 2020 I feel was that year that nobody saw coming. Like nobody could, if somebody had told us that the whole world would shut down the way it did, I probably would have said, come on, we are talking nonsense, you know. But we saw it happen right before our eyes and it was not funny. At first, I remember the day that Saskatchewan actually decided to shut things down. Like school went remote, offices now said everybody begin to work remotely. I left the office that day and somewhere at the back of my mind I'm like, 2 weeks, 3 weeks stops, we'll be back. And you guys, we're still at home.
We're still at home.
We're still working remotely. You know, it was bearable working remotely at first, but when we now threw in online schooling for children into the mix, I thought I was going to lose my mind, you know. That was difficult for a lot of people. But thankfully, I feel like COVID brought out either the human side or the devilish side of employers. Some people now understood that, oh, I work for somebody who really cares about me. Other people now realize that, man, this person doesn't give a hoot, and they moved. You know, so it gave everybody the opportunity to be vulnerable with one another. At least on my team, I feel like with COVID, I got closer to my team members because there are things that we will share, there are things that we'll talk about that I would ordinarily conversation won't get there. But with COVID, it's like we all just depended on each other. And it brings me back to that conversation concerned about loneliness. Imagine what it would be like if you didn't have friends. Imagine what it would be like if you didn't have somebody to be that support for you, somebody that you can lean on. You know, it's been a roller coaster ride for everybody, and I can totally feel your pain, like being in school and not seeing your classmates, because there's that thing about being able to collaborate in person.
Exactly.
You
Talk
know?
about what you've just been taught. I mean, everyone just logs out of Zoom because I've been bored listening to a professor for the past 2-3 hours.
And attention, you know what they say about retention? When it's a screen, retention is not the same as if it's in person. You know, so that part is tough. I've had people at work, new team members that I've not met physically, but I mean, it's work, you're obligated to do some things. But with school, it's like you're there 10 minutes and after that you're dozing. I know this because I'm in school as well, and I know how much struggle it is just to, you struggle to connect with the screen. It's not the same thing. Yeah, it's really not the same. But so far, I mean, I feel like the end is near. I feel like we're closer to the end than where we were in the beginning. And hopefully all of this goes away soon, so that we can have some semblance of sanity. Because really, I miss gatherings. I miss Nigeria parties. We have Oktoberfest parties in Nigeria. The Nigerian Association here has parties. We have picnics during summer. They have Independence Day party.
I can't wait.
We haven't had that because I can't wait really.
Hopefully the COVID
restrictions
gets lifted by next month.
We're waiting. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So anyways, guys, we've come to the end of this video, guys.
It was fun.
You guys know now, like the energy. You can't even tell that this is our third take on this particular video. I know there are some people that have been living here in Saskatoon for a very long time that might come across this video. Let us also know how you've been able to deal with some of the struggles that we've mentioned, and you know, just subscribe, like, do all those good. I don't even need to be telling you guys that one. She's here, you have to subscribe. And
we have a video on my channel as well.
Yeah, we also have a video on our channel. Please look out for it. I'm definitely going to be putting it in my community tab. Please watch out for that video. Wisdom. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to let her know that you're from me, okay? I'll see you guys in my next video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. Bye for now. Bye. Hi guys, welcome back to me.
We should have bloopers. Just say, guys, this is the third take.
As in,
manage our energy. Please help us.
Oh my god. Bye for now. Bye. Let's go and check out video.
See the speed that both of us.
Funny enough, this one, I feel like I now prefer